last speaker before break is Carl Weaver. Some of you had the chance to meet him yesterday. Carl feels strongly about things and gives you an exciting view of how things are changing. He is a wireless market, mobile, and device specialist. He has been selling and marketing into India from both sides of the Pacific since 1985, the 1980s, while working in the microcomputer motherboard system manufacturing industry. Carl sold CKD motherboards into India to importers and system manufacturers from Taiwan. Then returning to the USA in the 1990s, Carl secured and managed the sales and development of a nationwide paging network in Chandigarh, India for Punjab Wireless while working at Zetron Inc. Carl continues to be an evangelist, I think that's the word he uses, for a global smartphone revolution. And he has this DVD, China Mobile Digital Dragon and India IT Super Tiger. And feel free to pick up a copy of the DVD that's provided at the back. This is from another presentation, but gives some very interesting insights both into the China and India markets. And Carl, enlighten us. Yes, it's sort of like an evangelist. Thank you very much.
I think a lot of people go to India to be enlightened, actually. Namaste, Shushwagatam. So my name again is Carl Weaver, and I'm a Greater China Mobile Device Specialist. And it's interesting that I started my career focusing on the China market, but throughout my career I've been very fortunate to have a lot of experiences traveling into India, doing business with India, and now I'm actually learning a bit of Hindi as well. I think it's very critical for Americans to learn the languages of these cultures. I'd like to start the presentation. I'm going to move over here a bit I'm sure that everyone can hear me. I'd like to talk about the global smartphone revolution in India, the IT super tiger. So this afternoon's agenda, we're going to talk about the global smartphone revolution. We'll talk about India's wireless future, operators, subscriber penetration. We'll talk about infrastructure, handsets, consumer market, rise of manufacturing, youth markets, CDMA's rise, Spectrum Row, which I think one of the fellows here was talking about, IT superpower. Is it not? What I term the Pacific century, and then finally a conclusion. So the mobile device, it's already changed the basic way that people do business in the United States, India, and China. However, the mobility and the portability is very, very different across countries and cultures. And the smartphone is basically going to be demanded. It's going to be demanded in China and India as tasks, duties, and wireless voice and data communication consolidate, converge into what we call the mobile internet. So India, the IT, a term India, the IT super tiger, as I've termed China, the mobile digital dragon. So look at India's wireless future. It's actually a very, very interesting future. India's cellular market will be 24 billion by 2009. A lot of value-added services are going to play in this because the ARPU is very, very low, so they better play well in it. So it could equal the U.S. market as of today, 150 million subscribers, or maybe 200 million subscribers within 5 years. That's amazing. And the ARPU is expected to be as low as $5 over the next 18 months, but growth continues with Reliance and Bharti. They will lead the charge as consolidation of operators occurs. There's a lot of players in the market. They're not all going to stay that way. But it is interesting in that, man, I think the government has actually stayed out of a lot of the regulations that originally it had been in, especially in the wireless space. Wireless is absolutely booming in India. Every CEO in this country should be looking at not just China now, but they should be looking at India. And India's wireless market, it is definitely much more advanced than people in the West realize.